Hey everybody, today we're going to take the next step in making coin rings. We're going to talk all about annealing. You're not going to want to miss this. Don't go away. Okay, so today what we're going to look at is annealing because there's a lot of different coins out there, and if you do it wrong, you're going to ruin your work. So I'm going to take you through and we're going to look at a couple different coins. We're going to anneal them all so that you can get a better idea of how to do it. So let's get right to it. Let me try and explain what happens when we anneal in layman's terms. Remember, I'm not a metallurgist or anything like that, and this certainly wouldn't pass any tests. Silver, like anything, is made up of molecules, and the molecules want to be a certain way. In my hypothetical situation, they want to be circles, and they want to have equal numbers across and equal numbers down. When we start to mess with the metal, we screw this all up. We don't have circles anymore. We have a bunch of weird shaped ovals and stuff like that. This makes the metal hard and brittle. It really hates this. But because metal really wants to be circles, it's very forgiving. So what it does is it allows us to heat the metal, and the ovals, surprisingly, will go back to circles, making the metal all happy again. Okay, the first thing you're going to do when you're making a coin ring is you're going to anneal it, which means putting a lot of heat on it. So you're going to need a torch. This is a Brenzomatic TS8000, okay? I got this on Amazon. It's a really affordable torch. It uses these refillable bottles that you can buy. You can buy the whole setup at Walmart. You can buy the refills at Walmart. You can get it online, whatever. Readily available, works great. Okay, this is absolutely a number one. You have to have something to anneal your coins. Okay, so this is a number one. This is just a paver. It takes the heat. I can put the coin down on here. I can do the annealing right on this surface. It doesn't affect this block at all, and because of the thickness of it, it doesn't conduct the heat down to my workbench, which is a nice thing. So something to do your annealing on is also a number one. Tweezers for picking up the hot coin, number one. Pickle jar, number one, okay? Fill it with water. So after the coin is annealed, you pick it up, you dunk it in the water to quench it, okay? You gotta have that. A Sharpie, very must-have Sharpies. I got a whole bunch of these all over the place. You put a mark on the coin as it fades off while you're annealing the silver coins. You'll know that they're properly annealed, and then a little towel here to set the coin down onto after it's quenched to dry it off. So this is all mandatory stuff you gotta have. This Brenzomatic rocks, okay, it's got an igniter in it, it's ready to go. Some guys who are really cranking these things out will buy jeweler's torches and you know, the big propane tanks and hoses and all that, but you really don't need it. This will do the job for you. Today we're going to use three different coins. This is a plain old spending money $50, or coppernickel. It's basically a nickel coin with some copper in it. This is a Kennedy $50. You can find them anywhere. Nothing special. The next coin we're going to use is again a Kennedy $50, but this is a silver proof from 1964. That means that this coin is 90% silver and the remainder of it is copper. This needs to be annealed a special way. The final coin we're going to use is a silver eagle. This is 0.999% fine silver. Very soft. Need to be very careful with it. Like I said, this is about as perfect a silver as you can get, and it's generally considered to be called bullion. It's what people will buy to invest in precious metals.
First up, we're going to anneal the Copper-Nickel Kennedy half. This coin, we want to get it pretty hot. I'm not going to use any fancy tricks like a Sharpie or anything, because frankly, it won't work. What we're going to do for this one is we're going to look for the coin to start to glow orange. Now, if it's too bright in your workroom, it's maybe hard to see, so maybe you need to dim the lights. But it's a fairly forgiving coin, and so we're just going to heat it pretty well and look for that dull orange glow. Once we see it, we'll stop and quench. Next up is the 64 proof, and for this one we will use a Sharpie mark. Simply take a Sharpie and make a mark on your coin and start to anneal. When the Sharpie mark disappears, we know that the coin has been properly annealed. You can also look for orange flames to dance off the coin. This is the coin releasing some of its other metals, and it's a sign that it's properly annealed as well. Once it's annealed, go ahead and quench it. Finally, the Silver Eagle. This coin is a real whore. 999% fine silver is really finicky, and if you heat it too much, you're going to destroy the coin with a thing called reticulation. We're still going to use the Sharpie, but we are going to stop heating the absolute second it starts to disappear. No longer. You will kill the coin. Once that starts to disappear, go ahead and quench it. Some people will tell you quenching is bad for metal, but for silver, it's perfectly fine. And I just use plain water, but some people like to use a pickling solution. Here you can see the Copper-Nickel coin with what's called FIRESCALE. And that's one of the reasons some people will use pickling. It helps prevent FIRESCALE. Personally, I don't care. I'm going to polish the ring the exact same way anyhow. So I don't care if it gets FIRESCALE or if it doesn't. It really isn't a big deal to me. But here you see the finished coin, all annealed, ready to go. Now here we see the proof $50, and it still looks nice and shiny. I will tell you that silver dollars and coins all will look different when you anneal them. And here's the Silver Eagle in perfect shape because we did not over anneal. So that's annealing in a nutshell. The simple truth is that it may look very simple, like you're just shooting some flames onto your coin. And nothing could be further from the truth. If you take that approach, you're going to destroy a lot of coins and have a lot of misery. At the end of the day, it's not a complicated task, but it is one that you do need to understand. You kind of have to have an idea of what's going on, and you absolutely have to have a feel for it. As you're folding your coin in your press, you have to have that feel and that feedback through the press handle to say, hey, it's becoming more difficult. That means your coin is becoming work hardened and you need to stop or you're going to break your ring. So anyhow, that's annealing, one of the most important parts of making a coin ring in my humble opinion. That's going to wrap it up for today. We've got a lot more exciting stuff coming up, so you're going to want to keep an eye out. Until the next time, this is Paul from Fat Guy Productions getting out of here and saying, be good.